Welcome back to Touring the AFC South. I am your host, Mike Patton. And of course, if you have been sleeping under a rock, you saw where the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars played on Saturday night in front of the nation. And of course, unfortunately, the Tennessee Titans did not come out on the greatest end of that result. And I figured I would bring someone in that actually keeps a keen eye on them for the news. That would be WKRN's Samaria Terry. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing just fine. Doing just fine. Now, for those that aren't aware, I will say you haven't been here a real long time, but
No.
you are here in Nashville. You do talk some Titans football. But let me just give everyone a little bit of your background, if you would give everyone a little bit of your background.
Yeah. Okay. So like you said, I haven't been here long. I got here the first week of October, and Corey has made it known that the Titans have been losing since. But before that, I was at our sister station in Memphis. That was really fun. But I kind of got there like midway through the pandemic. So we didn't have like open locker room or anything like that. But it was fun covering the Grizzlies and their playoff run and covering like Memphis Tigers men's basketball. That was really fun. Football was fun too there. And then before that, I was in Jackson, Mississippi, so that was fun too. I was there before Deion Sanders, which I'm like, oh, I hate that I kind of missed that, but got to cover Jackson State, got to cover Alcorn, a lot of HBCU football down there, and still got to cover like the Mississippi schools in the SEC. And then before that, I was in Wichita Falls, Texas. We did a lot of six-man football. So that was kind of interesting too. So I really have like worked my way up to get to this point. So it's been interesting, my career so far.
Gotcha. So when did you first know you wanted to actually get into the news and kind of entertainment space?
Yeah, it's so funny because we had a news show at my elementary school, and I did that. Didn't
Okay.
even think anything of it. Did that. They would like film us doing like the morning announcements and the Pledge of Allegiance and stuff. And then when I got to high school, I did the morning announcements on the intercom. Still never
Wow.
really thinking about, oh, maybe you can do the news or TV. Went to Auburn University as a physics major because I really loved
Mm.
physics and calculus in high school. And then I was like, yeah, maybe I don't think I want to do this. My mom majored in communications. I feel like I kind of got that passed through my DNA. And eventually I just said, okay, I like to tell people stories. That's a passion of mine. So let me kind of explore that option. And then I went to liberal arts, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm going to do journalism. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So from physics to journalism,
Yeah.
that's an interesting one right
It
there.
was so crazy because I was like the only female in my honors physics class. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing this. No,
Oh my
no, we can't.
goodness. Oh my goodness. Now, we definitely an interesting path you had to, find your way towards the news. But there's also another interesting path in the NFL, and that's Mr. Josh Dobbs, Rocket Man, the mad
Yeah.
scientist, whatever you want to call him. But he was
Yeah.
the starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans on this past Saturday when they took a loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
Nice little segue there. I know you appreciate that in the news,
That was
but
great. I like that. That was
but
good.
but as far as the Titans, of course, it was a bad loss. They were up early, kind of had things
Yeah.
going, and then just couldn't get anything going after halftime, which has been the norm for them this year and ending the season on a 7-game losing streak. I mean, you've been here since October. You've seen the Tennessee Titans since October. I mean, generally speaking, what were your thoughts just on this team before you got here to see them? And since you've been here to see them, what has been your thoughts on them?
Oh man. I had a Jacksonville guy tell me that they were like the Titans were like the bullies of the AFC South. And I feel like that was kind of my thought process before I really got to know them as a team, just like covering them, especially like in Memphis. We just like ran highlights here and there. Always felt like they kept a good team. I was like, oh, I went to Auburn, so I had to root for Derrick Henry now. We're good now. But I was like, because he beat us up when I was in school. Um, But yeah, I think that like they're just like the bullies. They're really good. I felt like, I really respected Mike Vrabel as a head coach. And so I thought they were a really good program. And then when I first said I was going to take the job here, they had lost those 2 games at the beginning of the season. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting into? And then I got here and they won like 5 straight or something like that, just completely turned the season around. And then it just went down. But I will say, like, everybody talks about the injuries. That's really the biggest thing is the injuries. And I don't think a lot of people are really talking about like the off the field stuff. Like that really affected this team, I feel like. Like, I don't think that it was the best decision to fire John Robinson in the middle of the season. Because what did they win? Like 1 game after that? I think that was a
I
lot.
think they
That
won
was
one.
something. Yeah, I just feel like that was something that we were talking about in the media. The guys were talking about in the locker room after the game. Like, that was kind of the focus.
Yeah.
And I don't think a lot of people are really talking about that, but I just think that those injuries were too much. And then the off the field stuff, and then losing your starting quarterback, and that you're kind of figuring that out. It was just too much.
Yeah,
for them.
a lot going on. A lot going on, definitely with them. And, now you have the Jacksonville Jaguars representing the division. I mean, you've got the young quarterback with the flowing locks looking like sunshine from, remember, the Titans. Then you got all the talented wide receivers. I like to call Zay Jones, just me personally, I like to call him Bruce Leroy, because if you saw his opening press conference, he looked like Bruce Leroy to me.
He
But
does with the No, Zay is good. I mean, who would have thought that Evan Ingram would have had the season that he's having? I'm just like, but that's just crazy because that really could be the Titans. I mean, like they have weapons on offense, but it's just like stuff just didn't really click like that for them.
Yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, the Titans just did not finish the way a lot of people thought they should or would. And now comes the off season where some tough decisions got to be made with people with money, people with who you're going to pay, who you're not going to pay. But one big decision is probably going to be Jeff Simmons.
Yes, you got to pay. Yeah, you got to pay Big Jeff. And I think that he just means so much to this organization. Like just seeing him cry after that Jaguars game about like, he's like, oh, I've been shooting up my ankle since week 8 to play. Like, I mean, he really like puts his body on the line each week. We would see him in walking boots in the locker room, ankle wrapped up. And we're like, how is he going to play on Sunday? And somehow he makes a way and he plays. And so like he has to be number one. He has to be top priority this offseason for sure.
Definitely him, and another guy I want to mention, David Long Jr. That's another
Yeah, David Long. And I mean, you could just see when he was out, just the way that the defense played when he's not on the field. You have to kind of take that into perspective too.
Right. Now, the Titans are done. The Jaguars are marching on, and they have an interesting game on Saturday night. They're playing against the Los Angeles Chargers and Justin Herbert, which that offense right there, when it's clicking, they can definitely make some things happen with Josh Palmer on the outside, Mike Williams. You got Keenan Allen. You got the muscle hamster at the running back position. I like to call him muscle hamster, but that's his nickname, actually. That's
really? I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That is
okay.
So
I have a weird nickname, so.
Oh Lordy, I don't know if we're gonna go into that on this episode, but hey, we'll stick with the playoffs here. But but definitely the Jaguars with the high-powered offense going into I wouldn't say high power, but it can be explosive, and the Chargers definitely with an explosive offense on Saturday night. I mean, offense, which one do you choose? I mean, it's going to be great. I mean, are you excited to see that type of offensive kind of matchup with defense? Maybe a few plays make a difference in the game.
Yeah, I really am. And you kind of explained it perfectly. I feel like I'm going to go with Jacksonville just because I feel like they have had the hot hand later in the season. Somehow they're figuring it out. Trevor Lawrence is like not putting so much pressure on himself to be, to lead the team. He knows that he has weapons on offense that he can get the ball to. I'm going to go with Jacksonville. I don't know. I just think they have the hot hand. Everything's really clicking for them. But I do like the Chargers. I do root for like Josh Palmer because he went to Tennessee too. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, all right. Yeah, Josh Palmer was he was kind of sneaky good when he was at UT, and now in the NFL, it's kind of like he's expounding upon that a little bit more, which
Yeah.
I can definitely appreciate the growth from him in the
Yeah.
NFL. As far as another team that's looking for some growth in the playoffs, that would be the Baltimore Ravens. They haven't really went very far, unfortunately, with Lamar Jackson past the divisional round. Of course, he's been injured for a few weeks now, and he's supposedly going to come back versus the Cincinnati Bengals. That matchup there is going to be interesting because, of course, the Bengals are the high flying offense, and the Ravens are the run and run, throw to my tight end offense.
Mm-hmm.
And especially going to be that way with Devin DuVernay out for the season with a foot injury. So, in this game of kind of a mismatch of teams, do you think that the Baltimore Ravens have a chance against the Cincinnati Bengals?
No. And I'm really upset about that because I feel like I'm like Issa Rae. Like I root for everybody black. Like if it's a black quarterback, I'm like love Lamar Jackson down, but I'm gonna have to give it to Cincinnati. Like I just gonna have to give it to Cincinnati. And we saw them up close and personal, and we know what they can do.
Right. You got a thumbs up in the AFC South inbox from Mr. Darius Montgomery. So,
Thank you, Darius. I hope I'm not sounding crazy.
All right. Now, I'm going to go over to the a few other games. I mean, the San Francisco 49ers, they are going up. I can't remember the matchup they're going against. Well, I don't even know if it really matters because you look at that offense. You've got Deebo Samuel on one side. You've got Brandon Ayuk on the other. You've got Christian McCaffrey in the backfield and George Kittle at tight end spot. I mean, who do you guard? Who do you guard? I mean,
I feel like
I'm go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like that's a good question. Who do you guard? I feel like you need to probably put more of your eggs in the McCaffrey basket, but either way, there's just so many good players on that team. It's kind of unfair.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard matchup for whoever they see.
Like Christian McCaffrey is unreal. Dude is unreal.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I'm glad that he is somewhere though that he can really shine, like he's been doing.
Right. And of course, you got the Buffalo Bills out there and their story.
Yeah.
Of course, with Damar Hamlin, and now he's back in Buffalo. He's still in critical condition, but he's getting more care, which definitely very amazing that's going on. And did you see the inspiration that they played with on Sunday?
Oh my God! I mean, yeah, very first play, 97 yards. Naheem Hines, like what? They're gonna drug test him. They probably already did. They probably already drug tested him yesterday. No, that was amazing. That whole situation, I was floored because I mean, when we were watching it, you just thought that, maybe he was concussed, or we've seen guys like maybe get the wind knocked out of them a little bit. They kind of get up too fast or something and they fall back. That's what I thought it was. I had no idea. I don't think anybody thought that it was going to be to the magnitude that it was. And then on top of that, to see like the outpour of support that he's gotten everywhere. I'm like, that is so wild. It's amazing. It really is.
Very much. Very much.
I know,
very
like
much.
for some Titans like Rashad, and that was really touching for him. He was very emotional about Damar because he played with him at Pitt. So it touched a lot of guys. And I think some of them probably were thinking, okay, well, I have to suit up and play. Could that happen to me?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So,
right. And another mention from in the AFC South, the AFC South inbox. Hopefully they pay him. Actually, what's going on with the Bengals? The Bills. They're actually going to pay him. They're working it out with the NFLPA to pay him his full salary for the season, even though he's on IR, which is awesome.
Because there was somebody on Twitter, I can't remember what the guy, he was like on a smaller podcast, but he was talking about how, what the focus needs to be now is why does it take so many years to get like pension and all that kind of stuff in the NFL when these guys like Damar at the time, if he can never play again, then he did not play enough years in the NFL to get his pension. And so he's going to have to be paying hospital bills and all that kind of stuff. And so I think that that's kind of interesting too. We should be shifting the focus on, paying guys and being able for them to get health insurance and all of those things that are really, really important in a violent sport like football. And they shouldn't have to play 4 years before they can get that. So
I definitely understand.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of
definitely.
politics.
Yeah, definitely a lot of politics. Definitely a lot of owners with money, and like I like to tell people, everyone wants to get mad at Roger Goodell about all these decisions, but people have to also understand he is just the mouthpiece for the owners.
Yes.
The owners make this decision, not Roger Goodell. So, but one game I really want to talk to you about, and it's probably the last one we'll go over, is the Dallas Cowboys head into Tampa Bay to take on Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay.
Oh my gosh. My mom is a huge Cowboys fan. Like it's really ridiculous. And my dad's a Steelers fan. I don't know how they got that together. But I was like, Mom, where is that game going to be played? And she's like, in Tampa Bay. I said, oh, well, I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry, because I just feel like Tom Brady is really going to be coming into this game with a chip on his shoulder. A lot of people are like, he's washed, he's done, he should have retired, and he's going to be coming in to prove a point. And any given Sunday, Dak Prescott can throw 3 interceptions. I love him down, but I don't know. I think it's either going to be a really, really good game or it'll be like a blowout, or somehow Tom Brady comes back and wins it like he always does.
Yeah. We'll definitely see. It's going to be interesting because the Dallas Cowboys really stunk it up this past Sunday, 26-6 to the Washington Commanders. That was
what I'm saying. I'm like, sometimes they look really good, and then sometimes they look really bad. And I feel like down in Tampa Bay, you're not probably going to look good.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But boy, oh boy, if they get beat, you're pretty sure that Twitter is going to be talking all about it.
Oh yeah. Especially Stephen A. Smith.
Oh yes, he's probably going to have the cowboy hat on with a cigar and everything. I don't know if you saw the opening of the show this past Monday.
I should have watched it. Oh my God, I should have watched it because I know he cut up.
Oh, he did. He actually went right at Michael Irvin. The opening of the show. He was yelling at Michael Irvin. I was like, yeah, I knew he was going to have fun with this one.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, it is what it is, unfortunately.
All right. Well, we have reached the end of the show, but of course, we have not reached the end of the entire show.
Okay.
The question, just mostly the question part of it.
Okay.
But there is a game. There's 5 questions. There's 2 answers.
Okay, Mike.
And you got to make one choice.
Okay.
You ready?
No. Okay, go.
All right. I've got to ask you this one because, of course, you are from Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I have to ask, Big Boy or Andre 3000? Which one are you taking?
Oh, my God, Mike. Mike. Are you serious?
I had to do it.
3 Stacks.
Okay, yeah. He does. Every time he blesses the mic, he does do his thing, though.
I like Andre. Yeah, I'm going to have to go Andre.
All right. 2 stadiums in Atlanta. You got to pick one. Which one would you like more, Mercedes-Benz Stadium or State Farm Arena?
I guess I would have to go with Mercedes-Benz Stadium just because it's new. But, I'm going to have to go real big. I'm going Georgia Dome.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't even an option, but we going Georgia Dome. Okay. I don't like how they had to tear down churches and stuff to get Mercedes-Benz Stadium. But it's cute.
Got you.
It's cute.
I hear you there. Now, of course, we're going to go with 2 Atlanta legends. One that you barely missed in Jackson, and one that's still in Atlanta. That'd be Deion Sanders or Dominique Wilkins. If you had to say which one is Atlanta,
oh my God. This is not fair. This is not fair. You can't choose between those. You can't choose because they're both legends in their sport. You can't choose. I can't.
Yeah.
Choose. That's a hard one.
I,
No, people gonna be on
I,
me. I can't choose.
yeah, they're gonna be on you about that.
I'm choosing both. Like Shed Sharp,
Gotcha.
both.
All right.
BOAF,
Okay.
both.
I'm gonna let you slide since you're a first time guest on the show. I'm gonna let you
Okay,
slide.
thank you.
But no. All right. Matt Ryan or Michael Vick?
That ain't even a question. That ain't even a question. I never liked Matt Ryan. We going Michael Vick all day.
All right. All right. And I'm gonna go to the playoffs. Two teams that have been talked about a lot in terms of Super Bowl aspirations and teams that, could win it all. The Chiefs and the 49ers. If you had to pick one team to make it, which one would you pick?
Not those. We're going to they're going where? They're going to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, which one would you be if you had to pick one team to go to the Super Bowl, which one would it be?
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. Because I just
All
feel
right.
like when I'm watching a Kansas City game, like I'm always amazed at something that Mahomes does. I'm just like, I don't know. It is I'm gonna go Chiefs. I'm gonna go
Okay.
Chiefs, and I'm gonna say I think that the Eagles may win it all.
We. Now, wherever the Cowboys fans or the Bengals fans are listening, hey, I didn't coerce her into any answers. She gave those answers on her own. I'm just kidding.
I know. I told my mom that. I told her I was going to say that on this, and she was very upset with me. But I'm like, Mom, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That would be the worst thing for Cowboys fans. The Eagles to win it twice before they won it again since like the 90s. So yeah, I'd hate it for him.
I don't know. I just feel like Jerry Jones just has some bad like juju or something around him. He needs to get his life together.
Yeah, he either needs to get his life together or not stop being the GM.
Right. He needs to, yes, that's probably the biggest thing. He needs to step aside and realize that it's time, and I think that they'll see a really big turnaround once he does that.
I hear you there. Now, we have officially reached the end of the show. So I want to thank you for giving me or allotting me some of your time to come on the show and talk a little NFL football. Of course, hopefully this won't be the last time you come on the show.
Oh, no.
So I just want to give you the floor, let everyone know where they can find you, what all you're working on now. Folks, just want to let you know, WKRN is in Nashville, Tennessee. You can still catch it online. That was at WKRN.com.
Yes.
Okay, cool. You can still catch it online as well. But, hey, it's in Nashville, so you're going to catch Nashville news when you see Miss Terry on screen. So go ahead and let everyone know where they can find you, social media, all those different things.
Oh, yeah. Like my social media is pretty much my name. Twitter, I think it's just my name. And then Instagram is TV. Facebook is TV. Are we on Facebook right now?
Yep, we're on Facebook.
Because my Facebook is like, I'm getting notifications. Yeah, as far as what I'm working on, that's going to be a good question. Like, I really wanted to try to see if I could do something with Fisk gymnastics team. I don't know if you saw that they made history over the weekend. That was huge. So I wanted to try to see if I could go over there and do a story. Middle Tennessee women's basketball have won like 10 straight games. So I want to try to get down there. So now I feel like I can kind of focus on like really getting out in the community and doing stories on some of the smaller schools because Titans have been king since I got here. So, there's some other good stories around the area that we can work on.
Yeah. Right. I got another one for you too. I'll tell you off air.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you again for coming on. Thank everyone for tuning in. You have been tuned in to Touring the AFC South with your host, Mike Patton. We're out.